what I have for you in this video is very, very simple drawing of heaven and hell, and how simple it is. Okay? You have two choices. Good and evil. And then you get this line right here. Here's the tree. On here's its roots. This is where its family roots are, where its spirits are. You look at what it's pointing at. It's pointing at evil. There's a lot of spirits in hell. Because that's the wide path. It's the way of the world. The world is evil. It doesn't, its roots are evil. Where it came from. Its original roots was evil. If you go back to the beginning of the story of Adam and Eve, all tribes had from Adam and Eve. All tribes. Okay? And there's no way. Now, this is the narrow path. Okay? So now the narrow path. Why? Because it's the future. You're not going backwards. Do you want to go to the future? Or do you want to go to the past and go to hell? This is the past. This is passing away. It's never going to come back. Past. And you put a line through it. Why? Because it's a memory. So anything that's in the evil is just a memory. That's towards the wide path that leads to death. So it leads to death. And it's spiritual death. Your spirit dies. Because you're going in the past. Okay, I want you to understand that. You're not going forward. The past was evil. The very, very beginning stated that the heavens went to war. Clear indication that the past was evil and God does not promote evil. So that's what makes you feel alive on the inside. Why you even feel alive. You feel alive and you breathe in this oxygen, you're walking and you're thinking. That's all because of God. You didn't create it. I don't want to hear you say you did. You barely know how to use it. Because you're based on theory from programming. You've been programmed by each individual programming system that you picked up along your journey and your path. And whether it was good programming or bad programming, it's for you to discern. And that's where the corruption came into play. The fruit. The fruit's bad. And it's rotten at the core, which is your soul. That's what sin does. Is it not only gives you bad fruit, but it rottens the soul, the core, essence of your creation. On the other hand, you have alive here, speaking life into the character. Why? Because you want him to go to the future. Don't you want your friend to go to the future? Aren't you supposed to get smarter or dumber? Dumb people go to the past. Smart people go to the future. Wherever you started at, you got to get your intelligence up. But it must be on logical thinking. From science, history, language, and math. That's how you're supposed to think. That's why they gave you 4 categories. Because that's your necessities in life. In life. Your whole time you study life, you're going to expect to see those 4 categories. Okay? The narrow path leads to the book of life. That's why it says speak life into characters, so they can be written in the book of life. You want to treat them right. It's one of the laws of forgiveness. Forgive them if they speak death, but teach them how to speak life. It's up to us to correct our society. Now, of course, this is the book of death. The book of death, which is spoken of in Job as the gates of death. So there is a book of dead. These are all the ones that are in judgment. The book of the dead. That's the judgment book. This is a book of life. This is the immortality book. The difference. One receives the crown of life. The other one receive a crown of death. Because it's king of death. It couldn't, it's just a king of death. That's what it stands for. Kings of deaths, okay? And you got king of life. King of life is the crown of life. That's what it states, right? So a crown goes on a king's head. So you're the king of life. Now, same concept. If a crown can be put on the head of a king, then it'd be the king of death, which will put him as demonic spirits versus angelical spirits. This is the order of operation on how this realm works down here. You're tied into the spirit realm, and the fallen angels are in the spirit realm. So you have to be aware on your journey through life to get to the future that you stay on this narrow path, which is the book of life. And you must be alive, speaking life into characters, and be the king of life. So that you don't go down the wide path, receive a bunch of evil spirits up along your journey through possession because your fruits are bad and leads you to spiritual death, putting you in the book of dead because your rotten core to your heart and your mind was corrupted completely. It was just a bad, rotten apple. That even at its core, the seed of it. When you go to the core of the apple, there's a seed right there. Yeah, that was corrupted. And you're in the past. Okay, I want you to understand that. To get to the future, you must go to the light. To the light. That is your only way. And that is the heavens. You have, basically this is Hades. Hades and the bottomless. The bottomless pit. So you gotta pick a choice. You wanna go to the future or you wanna go to the past? It's your choice. Make it now.